In his book, The Tipping Point, Malcolm Gladwell talks about those key moments in the life of an organization, moments that transform an organization. I believe that we are one of those key moments in the life of the Diocese of Toronto. This moment is the fruition of a number of exciting things that have been happening in our diocese. At my first synod as your diocesan bishop in 2005, I talked about pruning for growth. It was an opportunity to consolidate the resources we have so that we can strengthen our church. Now, 6 years later, this has become a reality. Our diocese is well positioned to grow, both to reach those who have never heard the gospel, those tens of thousands of you who join together for worship every Sunday, and to build upon the legacy of faithful Anglicans who have gone before us. Secondly, we've been engaged in building the capacity of parishes. We've been doing this through the training and recruitment of volunteers and working with leaders on the governance of the church. This has led to healthy and vital parishes. Thirdly, we've been working on becoming an attractional church by becoming an inviting and welcoming community. Programs such as the Welcoming Church and Back to Church Sunday have brought new people to our churches where they have been reconnected with God. In our first year of Back to Church Sunday, you welcomed more than 2,500 people back. What a wonderful achievement! It speaks of your passion to share the good news of Jesus Christ with your friends, family, and neighbors. Fourthly, we've been engaged in new experiments and different forms of ministry to bring the gospel to people wherever they are, whether it be in hockey rinks, pubs, or shelters. Through the Vital Church Planting Conference and Fresh Expressions Working Group, we have planted seeds of new ministry, not just in our diocese, but right across the country. Our diocese has become a leader in innovation where people come from around the world to learn what we are doing. And this has happened because of you. You have caught a vision of a church that is broad and welcoming, that is made up of people from all walks of life, where all are included and honored, and where we are increasingly confident in our faith, building on the past and ready for the future. At our synod in 2007, I also proposed that we needed to resource all of this work with a major diocesan financial campaign, both to build in the past and to expand into the future that God is calling us to. We've called our campaign Our Faith, Our Hope, Reimagined Church. Now I'd like to welcome Dolores Lawrence, the co-chair of our campaign, to share with you some of the details of Our Faith, Our Hope, Reimagined Church.
Thank you, Archbishop. It is a pleasure and an honor to be speaking to you today about such a worthy endeavor in the life of our diocese. Our Faith, Our Hope, Reimagined Church seeks to raise a minimum of $50 million. There are 4 components of the campaign. The first and largest is the parish initiatives. The campaign will allocate $17 million to individual parish needs to strengthen parishes financially in unison with the diocesan effort. Secondly, a portion of the funds, $14 million, will be used for building the church for tomorrow, investing in leadership development, and establishing a clergy and lay continuing education fund for pioneering ministries to allow the diocese to continue its mission to share the gospel to those who are not members of any church, and for communicating in a wireless world and supporting technological enhancements across the diocese. The third component, $14 million, is for renewing our inheritance, for reinvesting in our buildings and making those buildings adaptable for use now and in the future, and to enable parishes to become multi-staffed in order to minister to everyone. Fourthly, we're reaching out to others with a tithe of the amount raised. The campaign will allocate $5 million to support various ministry projects outside the diocese. Archbishop, these are very exciting times.
Thank you, Dolores. As you can see, this is an ambitious undertaking, but it's not without precedent. Throughout our history, Anglicans have joined together in remarkable ways to transform the Church and society. Our first bishop, John Strawn, launched a campaign in the early 1850s. More recently, the Faith in Action campaign of 2 decades ago brought Anglicans in our diocese together to give more than $18 million to carry out God's mission. Just before that, Anglicans in Mission in the early 1980s brought together Anglicans across the whole country. Throughout the history of our diocese, generous Anglicans have built churches, schools, and hospitals. We provided summer camps for inner-city children to experience the beauty of God's creation. We have fed the poor, clothed the naked, cared for the sick and the vulnerable. These are gospel values. These campaigns were transformational moments. They provided the resources we needed to engage in God's mission. Another one of those transformational moments is now at hand. This is not a campaign just to raise money. It's an opportunity for us to explore our faith and then to invest in our faith. Bishop Arthur Brown in the Anglicans in Mission program tells the story of visiting a couple and asking for a major gift to the campaign. He asked for a very large specific amount, and the man looked at him incredulously and said, "Jesus Christ!" Bishop Brown said that it was the most profound prayer that that man had offered for some time. But then the man said, "I'm not sure my faith is worth that much." And he paused and he said, "I wonder what I've just said." He went back and thought about it, and eventually he gave a very significant gift to the church. I have no idea of how much. But the key point is that he looked at and examined his own faith and his commitment to that faith. In my own visits, I have found that the discussions about money eventually lead to a deep conversation about people's faith. Other people in our communities are asking for very large sums of money and receiving them because they believe in what they're doing. I believe in what we're doing. We have a message of far greater ultimate importance. That message is God's mission, that God in Jesus Christ comes to give us life. He's come to give us a defined purpose in joining with Him and with others in working for the kingdom of God. He comes to bring us hope and reconciliation, and He comes to transform and to transfigure the world. I invite you to join with me in investing in this great mission of God.